All right, loves, come here. Now we're keeping magnetic date energy fun and we're keeping it smart. Because I love a date where he leaves thinking that was the best date I've ever been on. And he can't even put his finger on why. And you're sitting there like, oh, I know why. Because you were warm, you were curious, you were present, and you quietly learned everything you needed to know. Now, if you saw episode 1, How to Be Unforgettable on Your First Date, this is your deeper dive. But if you didn't, you're so good. This episode stands on its own. Okay, guys, before we get started, if you want more tips like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button right now. It really helps the channel grow and you get more content like this in the future. Now, if you're ready to stop chasing and start choosing yourself, follow me and let's rebuild your love life, your confidence, and your peace together. Today is another day of choosing yourself, and it starts now. Now, today we're doing 10 date questions you can use on dates 1, 2, 3, and honestly, any early dates where you're still getting to know him. Now, these are not your first date only questions, okay? You can ask them anytime. And I want you to hear me. Asking questions about him is one of the best ways to build his attraction to you because people feel close to the person who makes them feel seen. And people love to talk about themselves. So when you give him classy, playful space to share, he leaves feeling good and he wants more of that. Now, while he's thinking, wow, she's so interested in me, you're also quietly collecting information. 2 birds, 1 stone. But quick rule, you're not going to ask all 10 questions like you're reading from a worksheet, okay? Pick 3 to 5 depending on the flow. 1 good question, then 1 to 2 follow-ups, so it feels like chemistry, not an interview. Another rule before I forget, this is important. No matter what he says, don't show judgment on your face because judgment shuts people down and we don't want the edited version of him. We want the truth. So you stay warm, curious, and you let him keep talking. Now, if he hears something that gives you pause, your job is not to debate. Your job is to clarify and observe. Now, here's your little formula. Got it. Then tell me more. Then you file it away. That's it. All right, let's get into the questions. Question 1, and I love this one because it sounds innocent, but it tells you a lot. What does your perfect Saturday look like? Now, here's why we're asking. Lifestyle is your relationship. If his weekends are chaos and yours are calm, you're going to feel that mismatch fast. Then you keep it cute. Okay, are you a planet person or a vibes person? Or you could ask, are we inside or are we outside? Now, you're listening for balance, structure, and how he recharges, okay? Now, question 2 is for direction without sounding intense. What are you looking forward to this year? Now, because a man with intention doesn't have to be perfect, he just needs to be moving with purpose. And you follow up with, what are you working on right now that you're proud of? Now, here you're listening for goals, consistency, and effort, not just vibes. Question 3 is a cheat code. Now, this one builds attraction and reveals patterns. When you really like someone, how do you usually show it? Now, anyone can say the right words. You're listening for what he actually does. And this is the key follow-up. Give me a real example, like what do you do? If he stays vague, you can add, how do you show up week to week? Now, you're listening for planning, consistency, communication, thoughtfulness. Now, question 4 checks what he thinks normal is in love. What does a healthy relationship look like to you? Because some people think chaos is love, and we're not signing up for that. Now, you follow up with, what does that look like day to day? Now, you're listening for teamwork, emotional safety, repair after conflict, and even respect. Now, question 5 is emotional regulation, period. How do you handle stress when life is lifing? Because stress reveals character. Now, you're not looking for perfection. You're looking for self-awareness. Now, you follow up with, do you talk it out or do you go quiet? And what helps you reset? Now, you're listening for healthy coping, not pride and dysfunction. Now, question 6 checks maturity without you having to ask, hey, are you mature? Now, what's a lesson you learned the hard way? A grown man can reflect, but a not-so-grown man blames everybody else. Now, you follow up with, what did it change about how you date now? You're listening for accountability, insight, and growth. Now, question 7 is about peace because soft life matters. What does peace look like in your life? Now, if you're building a soft life for yourself and he's addicted to chaos, you'll feel drained. Or you follow up with, what brings you peace after a long week? And you're listening for stability, calm habits, and maturity. Now, question 8. Now, this one's sneaky good. I love this one because people tell on themselves through other people. What do your closest friends say you're like? Because reputation and self-awareness show up here. Now you follow up with, would they say you're consistent or spontaneous? Or what do they tease you about? And you're listening for honesty and whether his circle reflects his values. All right, so question 9. This one creates connection without oversharing. What's something you're proud of that nobody claps for? Now this pulls him out of impress you mode and into show you who I am mode. And you follow up with, that's actually attractive. What made you start doing that? Now you're listening for character, discipline, values, and inner life. Okay, question 10. Now this one's a fun one. Keep it playful. Okay, what's your toxic trait? Now everybody has something. The question is ego versus self-awareness. You follow up with, I'll tell you mine too. Keep it light. Then, what are you doing to work on it? You're listening for honesty, humor, and growth, not excuses. Now, here's the part that keeps you magnetic. If he gives a red flag answer, do not show judgment, okay? Don't argue, don't correct, don't do the disappointed teacher face, because the moment you do that, he starts editing and you lose the truth. Instead, you stay sweet and curious and you ask one clarifying follow-up. Watch this. You ask about stress and he says, I shut down. I don't really talk when I'm stressed. Now, you don't react. You smile and you say, got it. Now, how long do you usually go quiet? And what helps you come back and reconnect? See, no judgment, but you just got a timeline and a pattern. Now, here's another example. You ask about a healthy relationship and he says, I don't really do labels. I just go with the flow. Now, you stay calm. Okay, that's fair. What does go with the flow look like in real life? Then, how do you know you're exclusive with someone? Now, you're not debating. You're making him define the fog. Here's one more example. You ask what he learned the hard way and he says, honestly, my exes were all crazy. Now, you keep it neutral. Oof, now that sounds like a lot. Then, what do you think kept you in those situations? And what would you do differently now? You see how he didn't co-sign the blame? You redirect it to accountability. Okay, one more thing, because we need to be super smart about this. Yes, we're being clear, but we're not giving away our whole playbook. Because if you hand someone your entire blueprint, it becomes easy for them to sound perfect without actually being consistent. So ask one clean question, then observe. Now, if he says all the right things, cute, love that for him. But I'm still watching the follow-through. Clarity once, consistency always. And that's also why leaving early matters, because if you let him talk, feel seen, and have a genuinely good time, and then you end the date while it's still high, he's going to replay it like a song. Now, he'll leave wanting more conversation, more connection, more you. And that's how you build momentum without chasing. So yes, let him leave feeling good, and you get to decide if there gets to be a date too. All right, guys, if you want a part 2 where I give you even more date questions you can ask and keep being magnetic, just comment down below part 2 and I'll make it. Now, here's a recap of everything we just talked about. These questions work on dates 1, 2, 3, and other early dates, not just the first one. Now, pick 3 to 5 questions per date. 1 question plus 1 to 2 follow-ups or 2 questions, like it doesn't matter. Just don't act like you're reading from a script. No judgment face. Stay warm so he keeps talking. Clarify then observe. You get to decide later. Now, the last thing is end the date on a high. Leave early so he leaves wanting more. You guys know how much I love you. I love you enough to tell you the truth, and I'll see you in the next one.